Hansel. So hot right now.
Yeah, I want to work in videos, but really I want to be my own star in the videos because I want to become a pop singer and a rock singer and write my own songs, produce my own songs, and then I want to try an actress because people tell me how talented I am.
All right, so I'm Swanka with the QC.
I'm Jordan, a QC contributor.
And I'm Jared, a QC contributor.
Hey guys, GothamGeekGirl here, geek writer, blogger on all things geek.
Good stuff. So welcome to Quality Control, where we discuss everything and anything that's hot in entertainment. Today's episode is presented by Raise Energy. All right, please raise your right hand.
Wait, yeah, that's right.
All right. On a penalty of having to give me your allowance for an entire year, do you testify that Raise Energy drink has 0 sugar, 0 crash, and no weird aftertaste?
Yes. Raise Energy is for healthy adults 18 or older.
Raise Energy. Use coupon code the QC for 15% off. A link to the e-stores on the front of the IG page and also on screen. So today we're discussing the state of the movie theater industry, and more specifically Wonder Woman 84 and Coming to America. So the big question I want to know from you guys is, are you watching Wonder Woman 84 at home or in theaters?
It's gonna be at home, most likely, just because if it's available, actually it depends on how much it costs. Because if it's gonna be $30, no, I'll go into the theater actually. It depends on the cost. If it's gonna be the cost that it's been for other at-home releases, other theatrical at-home releases, I'll probably watch it in theaters just because it's like gonna be half the cost now that I think about it. But that's just me, you know.
It's gonna be on HBO Max.
Oh, is it free?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you subscribe to it,
if you have HBO Max,
Yeah.
So then maybe I'll just get an HBO Max subscription though. That's a good question. I don't know then. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the theater myself right now, just because I kind of miss it. Only movie I've seen in theaters this year is Tenet, and I'd like to get probably a second one in. So hopefully, if I can find something that will let me watch it in theaters, I'd love to do that. But that's the way I'm leaning right now.
I don't really have the option. Our theaters never even opened back up. I'm a theater buff, so I'm heartbroken, but I'm definitely gonna watch it on HBO Max now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm probably going to watch it on HBO Max as well. I mean, if the theaters are showing it, I'll go. I mean, I've been to the movies, I think 3 times since the pandemic started. I saw Tenet, New Mutants, and this movie called Jiu-Jitsu, which was weird, but I actually really liked. And all the times I went, there was literally 5 or 6 people in the theater. So social distancing wasn't really an issue. I mean, it felt like I had the theater to myself, to the point where when I saw Jiu-Jitsu, I was literally using my phone to light up a piece of paper and taking notes because there was literally no one in the theater writing my review. There's literally no one in the theater to be bothered by me. So right. I imagine it's going to stay like that for a while. But I'll be watching at home, but I prefer, to of course go to the theaters just because, I'm trying to keep theaters alive. I'm trying to continue to support it. And, we're going to get into that more, but ultimately I'm the kind of person where if I can go see it in the theater, I prefer to do that.
Yep.
So that's a nice segue. So what is your opinion of how the movie industry will react to day and date streaming? Should we be panicking?
I think mild panic. I think it's about, we're getting close. I think the signs were there when the #1 movie in America, I think, was Trolls World Tour back in the spring, when they decided to just release that completely digitally. And I think that just started the dominoes moving. And as more and more stuff gets pushed back, like the Black Widows and all the blockbusters that aren't getting released, Warner Brothers saying, hey, let's put Wonder Woman on HBO Max. I think the signs are there that the theaters may not ever come back in the way we once knew them, which brings a tear to my face. But I think, mild panic.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I don't know. I can't see things just going back to normal, and people are just so wary of, just going out. And because of cases and because of how dire the situation is, it seems that, it could be prolonged to the point where I don't know when we get to something that seems kind of like it was before with theater going. So we'll see. But I agree with Jared. Mild panic as well, because the executives of AMC, Regal, they're not feeling too good right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I want to cry my eyes out because like that's the whole movie going experience, like being in the theater. Like say like for blockbusters like anything like Batman or like Black Panther, like everybody in the theater together, like clapping, screaming, like that's the whole experience of movie going, and like just being home isn't the same.
Yeah.
I really hope we can see you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those things where we just think about the state of theaters right now with the pandemic. Just like the next time we get to actually sit in the theater, like elbow to elbow with somebody, is going to be like it's going to feel really like nice and cathartic to actually be able to go to a movie. So I have a kind of a different take. I think that when it comes to the movie theater industry, I think there's definitely going to be some panic in the context of the amount of overall money being spent in the theaters. But I think just like any other industry, you know, when you're living in a capitalistic economy that we are, you know, businesses have to adjust and kind of figure it out. And I don't think theaters are going to go away. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a contraction of the theater industry where, you know, if there's, you know, say 10,000 theaters right now that were open prior to the pandemic, you know, you might see that number go down to as low as like maybe 5,000. Again, just using, you know, made up numbers. But, you know, those 5,000 theaters will continue to thrive, but there's just going to be half as many theaters as there were before. So, you know, there's just going to be less theaters that are open. And I think that the ones that are open are going to have to kind of adjust what they're doing. Like the Alamo so I live in Northern Virginia, and the Alamo over by where I live, they're doing things where you can, you know, pay $150 and rent a theater for yourself and have like a party where you and 20 of your friends sit in a 200 seat theater and, you know, watch a movie together, you know, for $150, which, you know, that's pretty reasonable, I think, if you spread that cost, you know, across 20 people. So they're finding creative ways to kind of keep money coming in and to kind of change with the time. So I think you're going to see more of that. There's just going to be a lot less theaters open, and, you know, it's just going to be something that the pandemic is going to have a big impact on the industry. But I don't think theaters are ever going to really necessarily go away the way like Blockbuster did. You know, it's like things are a little bit different.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how sustainable renting a movie theater is, but for $150, I don't know if they're going to make enough money from those things, especially since their margins are already so small, and they make most of the money off the popcorn and the soda anyway. So
that is true.
We'll see.
That's a good point. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see just from a standpoint of like understanding how businesses evolve, to see where, you know, a year from now, 5 years from now, movie theaters are, and like how things are different, or maybe they'll go back to normal. Who knows? So, which big new release do you think will be the next to go day one streaming, other than Coming to America, of course, which we're going to talk about?
James Bond, I think probably. It's just it's inevitable at this point because they've been pushing it back, and I just can't. Warner Brothers is just hemorrhaging money right now. I actually read an article saying that like each month that they're not releasing it, they're losing like millions of dollars on loans that they haven't been able to pay back because they haven't tickets. So they're just bleeding right now, and they need to get something back somehow. So I don't envision them waiting until, you know, probably late next year, you know, third quarter next year to release it in theaters, because that's the only time, maybe summer. But I just think it'd be smarter on their part just to release it on demand, video on demand, VOD, and just, you know, hope for the best, hope that they can recoup some of their investment. So that's what I think.
I think Black Widow is also a possibility. We'll see. I do agree with Jordan that Bond's probably more likely, but I think my second place is Black Widow, just because we know how much Disney is trying to push people to get to Disney Plus, and they're still way behind in Netflix when it comes to total subscribers, despite the blockbuster success that it's been since launch. So this is a nice, easy way, like they did with Mulan, if they want to keep trying to get people to get hooked and not just purchasing a subscription just to watch one movie and then leave. Putting Black Widow on there is a nice way to do it. Obviously, they'd probably make more money in a theater, but they may not have that available to them.
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Widow also. I feel like that'll be a push for more people to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Gotcha. Have you guys heard anything? So I feel like I've heard anecdotally that Marvel is very kind of wary of day and date streaming, and they really are trying their hardest not to do that. That's what I feel like I've kind of read that different places.
Yeah.
It would blur the line between the MCU and like the MTVU or whatever, I don't know the abbreviation. So like they did have like this very fine or concrete plan of like Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, right? Those are going to be TV. and then Black Widow and the new Spider-Mans and Guardians 4, like all of those, or Guardians 3, those are going to be movies. And if you start putting something like a Black Widow on Disney Plus, you start blurring the line. So I could see them go, I think it's a coin flip. Like I could see them definitely saying like, no, movies stay movies. And I'd be totally okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think just pandemic wise, they should, like, if everything's going to be shut down again, then release it. But if things start to get better, hopefully they plan to have it separate. But at this point, it's not looking great.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Gotcha. So before we jump into Coming to America, actually, this just occurred to me, and this is kind of like a bonus item for the show today, is what did you guys think of the Snyder Cut, the trailer that came out? Were you guys wowed by that?
The one that came out like weeks ago, months ago, like over a month ago?
Well, last week, there's only been, as far as I know, there's only been one Snyder Cut trailer, which came out.
Yeah, there's only one.
Last week? Like with the
last week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Within the past 10 days. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, then I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah, they put one out and then they immediately put out another one that was the same trailer, but it was black and white with like slightly more footage.
Yep.
This is like in the past week. So I was just curious what you guys thought about that. Are you guys excited for the Snyder Cut? What do you guys think about the whole idea of doing that at all? And HBO Max, they're spending $30 million to produce this film. So that's a lot for a film that's already been out. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I don't want to. I guess this is the first time that your audience has heard, but as I'll speak for myself, I know Jared identifies some of my points, but we've kind of lost faith in the majority of DC live action adaptations. So I'm kind of indifferent. I mean, I kind of I still haven't seen the original Justice League. I still haven't seen it. That's how little, I grew up watching Justice League. That was one of my favorite shows. Justice League has always been it will always be one of my favorite shows. But I still haven't gotten around to see it just because I know people said it wasn't good, just like Aquaman. A lot of people told me that it wasn't good, so I didn't watch it. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, I'll let her go. I know she's.
Yeah, go.
I'm hype as hell. when I first saw Justice League, I think I gave it like a 6, maybe. It wasn't horrible. It's just it didn't fit the format. Like most of the DC movies are typically like 3 hours. It felt very rushed. And then being with the 2 different directors, it just felt like like a different movie. Like they didn't know if they were going the funny route or the serious route. So after BVS, it was kind of like, what direction is this going? But I think the cast was like phenomenal. It felt like a DC animated movie. My main issue with it was the CGI was trash. So that's what I'm hoping that the Snyder Cut is going to fix. Right. Because that was the main issue with it. Like Steppenwolf looked terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw Justice League in theaters, I actually walked out of it thinking, okay, that was pretty good. I really liked it. But then everybody else was like, it sucks. So I was like, man, I feel like I'm the only one who liked this movie. The same way I feel about New Mutants, which I actually gave New Mutants a really great review because I saw opening night and then wrote it before seeing anybody else's opinion. And it turns out that like basically the entire world thinks that movie is like trash. I really liked it. So did you guys see New Mutants?
I didn't even.
I haven't watched any new X-Men stuff.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So what I'd say with DC, I'm interested in seeing the Snyder Cut. I too never watched Justice League, but I think I will watch the Snyder Cut in the hopes that it's better. But yes, I'm very much more of a DC animated person myself. Go watch Harley Quinn, watch Young Justice, DC Comics subscription, absolutely worth it. So I'd say that's the sweet spot. I think that's where they're still doing everything justice, pun intended. So.
Yeah, but I think to answer the initial question of like at least my personal excitement about Justice League, I am pretty excited about it because one, I really wanted to see Superman in the black suit. We didn't get to see that in the original cut. We didn't get to see Darkseid. And I thought Steppenwolf, to Triple G's point, was terrible as far as like the CGI. Yeah. But I also feel like the screenshot that they shared, I didn't think it looked really that much better, but it was a screenshot. So, even in the trailer, like they didn't really show Steppenwolf that much, did they? Did they show him in the trailer, the new one?
I think like a little clip.
Barely.
I think a little bit.
Barely. Gotcha. Yeah, I think they're trying to tease us. Like they want to show as little as possible, so we all pay.
And I prefer that. Some trailers show everything.
Right. And then isn't Joker supposedly in this too? Like, didn't they bring back?
That's what I heard.
I'm excited because he had no screen time, so it's not really fair to just like completely.
Yeah, this is Leto's Joker though, right? Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Everyone thought that he was done after how how he got panned after Suicide Squad. I thought he wouldn't pick up, the ink and all the green hair. I didn't think he'd go for it again, but we'll see.
Sure. So what, again, this is kind of random, going on a tangent, but since we're talking about DC, do you guys, or have you watched, or do you plan to watch Titans on HBO Max? You guys watching that?
No,
I haven't seen it yet.
No,
I've heard mixed reviews. I'd actually love to hear your take there, QC, on what you think of it if you've seen it.
So I've only seen like the first episode and a half, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I like Raven. I think the Robin character is really, really good. Starfire was interesting, how they basically, how they're doing her character, because Starfire is basically, she's an alien. She's orange skin
Usually
in the comics,
Yep.
but they chose I believe she's a black actress,
Black
right?
girl, yeah.
Player in the show, and I think they did really well. And from what I've seen, I really liked it. But again, it's one of those shows where most people that I know aren't talking about it. I just don't know a lot of people that have also watched it. But it sounds like you've watched it, Triple G.
Yeah, I watched the entire first season. I think I need to finish the newer, but I enjoyed it. I kind of liked what they did with it.
Good stuff.
I need to watch what's the other one? They have another show blacking out right now.
They have no.
Give it a shot.
Doom Squad?
Yes, I have to
Definitely.
watch Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you. There we go.
Yeah, we got there.
We got
But
there.
give Titans a shot. From
Yeah, I
what I've
heard-
seen, I liked it.
I heard that show is awesome, Doom Patrol, but like, I don't know, I guess because I literally, like, I grew up reading comics, I still read graphic novels now, and I don't ever remember even really seeing Doom Patrol like on shelves ever as a child, so I just don't have any awareness of them other than the fact that they have a show now. But
Right.
I never was motivated enough to turn it on. But I hear that the show is excellent.
Yeah, it's like the DC version of Guardians. They're kind of reaching deep
Mm-hmm.
into the comic book lore and pulling something out that people haven't heard of.
Please
So-
like it. Please love it. You haven't heard of this one before. Maybe you guys will think it's awesome.
Gotcha. All right. So final topic, and I think this might be a brief segment because I'm not sure how much you guys are excited about this. But so Coming to America was originally announced actually to go to Amazon Prime in December of this year.
This year, yeah.
But they last week announced that officially. Really, I think their only official announcement, I think, is that it's coming out March 5th of 2021 on Amazon Prime. So
Okay.
as the elder statesman in this group, I'm very excited about Coming to America. I love their.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Okay.
This was hilarious.
And I'm just curious, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of them going back to the well with Coming to America?
I think it could either be like where you bring back a sequel similar to almost kind of, because we got Borat recently, which not a lot of people saw coming. We got Borat 2, and a lot of people, I thought that it was a good continuation of the story, and I didn't think we were ever going to get a Borat 2. I think that this could be another case of, nobody was really expecting a Coming to America sequel, but if they do it justice, then I think that they can really hit it out of the park if they have a good script, and if they find strike a good balance of continuing the story and finding humor in the character moments and stuff that we love so much in the original. I hope it just doesn't feel redundant and like kind of like a cash grab, like cause they can't come up with a new idea, so like why not just create a sequel with something? That's not what I want. So hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, I echo that completely. I don't want it to be like the Terminator series, which has felt pretty cash grabby, I think, in the past 5 to 10 years, in my opinion, for instance. So if they can stick with the story that, Eddie Murphy, like back in his prime, was dynamite. So if they can channel some of that same energy he brought to like Dolomite, for instance, which came out on Netflix, highly recommend that. So if they're coming with that sort of energy and that sort of humor to Coming to America too, I am all about it.
I'm pretty hyped for it. I was literally born when this movie was like out, but I've watched it, and what I think, kind of like what Jordan was saying, I'm iffy with most like remakes and sequels, but this isn't a reboot, and the fact that it's gonna be like his son, so it's like literally like 31 years later,
Right.
it makes sense. So it could possibly work if they do it right. It could be fun and original. And then they added Wesley Snipes and Tracy Morgan and a couple people in it, so might be cool.
Yeah, sure.
Right on. Yeah, I'm excited for Coming to America too. I think, the original is such a classic and such like a pop culture moment. Not only for my generation, but I feel for a lot of people even who are younger than I am. And I just feel like the movie was very, not necessarily when it came out, but it hasn't aged well. And there's some aspects of it that are controversial. And I think that's part of what makes it special is that Eddie Murphy didn't really, he took some risk and he did things in the movie that you typically won't see a movie do in 2020. So I'm a bit concerned that it'll be watered down and not have as much of the kind of the
raunchiness.
Right, you know what I mean? So that worries me a little bit. And then I'm also kind of nervous about the fact that it's already November. It was going to come out in December, but got pushed to March. Why haven't we gotten a trailer? Like, what's going on? Normally we would have gotten a trailer like months ago. So
like something.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
I think there's been some set photos, I think, of Eddie Murphy. I think I saw a couple of those maybe. I don't know if it was Photoshop, but the fact that they're not showing us any of the movie makes me a little bit nervous. I'm also not a huge Kevin Hart fan. No offense to Kevin Hart people. So, and I believe he's a prominent role in this film. So, but we'll see. So that pretty much wraps up episode 3 of Quality Control. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Anything else you wanna take us home with?
No, I think that wraps up. I'm good. I'm wrapped up. I think we knocked out
all good movies.
Watch Wonder Woman on Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, and actually on Christmas, watch Soul, Disney Pixar movie.
That looks good too.
Very excited for
That
that.
looks good too. And that's going day and date streaming.
Plus.
That was like, I feel like that wasn't really like an announcement. They're just doing it.
Yeah, I read an article about it, and I was very happy because that's the kind of movie that you can still enjoy in your home. I think you don't need a huge screen, but I'm excited for it.
Good stuff. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate the time. Keep it locked to the QC for all your entertainment review needs, both Instagram, Facebook, and our website, thequickcritic.com. See you at the next one. Peace.
Sign off.
Peace.